Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. I'm being joined with Colby, who's in Casablanca right now. He doesn't have Skype service, so he's got him on the phone. So you'll have his audio and my ugly face made for radio. So, and he's the one on radio. So you were right about that Raiders game. I've never seen anything like it you said since the Buffalo Bill game. Sandy Clough, Sports Talk Radio, was talking about this. I just want to credit John Elway for really single-handedly destroying this organization. He said that we've never had losing streaks as long as this, or even back in the AFL days. This is just inexcusable. And it goes beyond the coach. We've been seeing this, ever since the mastermind thought he would tear down Wade Phillips's defense and create some hard on the edge, soft in the middle 90s nonsense. But I made a video, and there was so much material, and it wasn't even. It was the open for the film review. And there was so much material. I actually got pissed off. The more and more I worked on it, it's just like, this is just ridiculous. And I really think the Broncos should see that video. I don't think no speeches should be given. Just play it. And if you want to look like clowns, just just continue down the road you're going and look like clowns. Right now, the way I see it, the Denver Broncos are definitely the laugh of the league. Even though they're 3-3, the fact that you played the teams that you played and you're obviously getting your ass kicked with any kind of competition now, you're the laugh of the league. Would you agree with that?
I
say that again.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it should be embarrassing. I want to talk about something that was, people came to this channel. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a second. I can't find Draymond Jones anywhere. Would you know where Draymond Jones is?
No, it's pretty pathetic to see those fans that came onto this channel and said how wrong we were and how we don't know film and everything. And I just have a question for all those people that were giving us shit. Where are you right now? Because you guys are going back into your little holes under Elway's roof, and you're nowhere to be seen. So where are you guys?
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see him. I see Draymond Jones. He's being double teamed right now. He's being double teamed.
Oh, so that's the excuse now. He's being double teamed again.
He's being double teamed. Well, I'm gonna put some logic in. I'm gonna inject some logic into this, some real world logic. So you say that Draymond Jones, because you came here to the channel and you gave us a hard time, you said we didn't know what we were talking about. Draymond Jones is the second coming of who was the second? Who would be the second coming of Sam?
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, yeah, or Malik Jackson. Okay. So anyway, you said all that. We're dummies. We don't know what we're talking about. So to make yourselves feel good, because you're all about feel good. You're not about logic. You're not about what your eyeballs can see, and it's just feel good. Since you want to feel good, you came up with this narrative that Draymond Jones is being double teamed. Well, I want to put a little mathematics to this. You're going to sit there and tell me that Draymond Jones is actually getting double teamed more than Von Miller? You're actually going to tell me that? I don't buy it. Draymond Jones is in no way being double teamed anywhere near Von Miller, and Von Miller's not even being double teamed that much. So if because there's no way that Draymond Jones is even in the same universe as Von Miller. So if you're going to tell me Draymond Jones is getting double teamed more than Von Miller, you're full of shit. Number one, you're completely full of shit. If you're saying they're both being double teamed at the same time, okay, so that's 4 linemen on 2 guys. So why are quarterbacks reading War and Peace? If it takes Von Miller's being double teamed and Draymond Jones is being double teamed. So obviously your mathematics is off. Somebody's math is off, and it's yours. Draymond Jones is not being double teamed, or not, at least not very often. Very, very rarely. Yeah, he's been double teamed once or twice, but yeah, I just don't want to hear it anymore. You guys suck. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We have a channel. When you get
Yeah.
your own channel, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I said when you get your own channel, you can do like everybody else and just just spew off crap. That just it isn't even based in reality. So just now, like you said, Colby, they don't come around. They slink off. They always slink off.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people out there that want to sit here and say that, about Draymond Jones, even when he's single teamed against the guard one-on-one, he can't do shit. So I just want to explain this to everybody. It's not the coaching, it's the player personnel. I don't want to hear that shit. Okay? You're going to come on here and say that we had a commenter come on here, and I'm not going to go into this whole thing about well, we have to blame the coaching because the coaching brought in these players. Here's the deal. They're running a too high shell look with Justin Simmons and Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson's main objective was to come in and help the middle of the field. That's why Kareem Jackson went down in the middle of the field. Justin Simmons' job was to go over the top. He couldn't get there in time because he doesn't have the makeup speed. I don't want to hear from anybody that it's coaching. It's the player personnel. We have seen this for 5-6 years now with Dre. It's just another example of how Draymond Jones gets a hard pass because he's an Elway pick. I don't want to hear it anymore. Draymond Jones he sucks. He's an overrated player, and he shouldn't be a starter in the National Football League. Everybody can read it, and he's trash.
Yeah, he's Paxton Lynch on the defensive line. Excuse me. Would you agree that the Broncos defensive line is either at the bottom of the NFL or the very bottom of the NFL?
I think it's the worst unit in the National Football League.
I do too. I haven't seen anything like this bad. I haven't seen anybody this bad.
Where's Shelby Harris?
Yeah.
Where's that guy? You gave John Elway. I'm calling you out. You gave this man 3 years, $27 million to a guy that the Raiders, he's a cast off of the Raiders for a reason. You just don't get it, do you, Elway? You just cannot get it through your skull. And the same thing goes with the feel-good fans. You guys can't process that you guys could have got a Solomon Thomas on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, do you know Solomon Thomas, he punched that ball out. It was just a thing of magnificent. He's making a tackle. He's going down all at the same time. Well, Bridgewater's going down. They're both going down. He's making the tackle. And he punches the ball out of Bridgewater's hands. I was going to bring that up. I just didn't have time to get into the third quarter. But he reaches around and he punches the ball out. That's how that fumble happened.
Well, let me ask you this. We saw it in the film. How did Max Crosby get his 3 sacks? Who was applying the pressure in the interior? It was Solomon Thomas, ladies and gentlemen.
Solomon, what did we say when the free agency was coming on? We wanted Solomon Thomas to do exactly that. We were saying, and here's the thing. We were probably giving Draymond Jones even more credit than he deserves, because we said if we could bring a Solomon Thomas in, that would elevate Draymond Jones. Oh, you guys are nuts. You're crazy. And what are we seeing out on the field? They were, and I was listening to the Bronco fans after the game. Crosby, what? How can he Crosby? They don't get it. They just don't know anything. They just know the crap they listen to, and then the people echo that crap in these bubbles, and they think that that's somehow God's lips to their ears or something. It's just incredible.
Well, they have a fascination with Elway players. We've seen this over the past 5 to 6 to 7 years with this team. They have a fascination over guys like Justin Simmons, Draymond Jones, Alexander Johnson, who tore his pectoral muscle, who got exposed again with Kenyon Drake going out, running a wheel route on him because he sucks in coverage. He might be a good blitzing linebacker, but that's about it. You guys can't understand that the player personnel on this team is so dreadful. It's bottom five. It's bottom five on every single board. It's terrible.
And Dove Valley is putting out, don't whatever you say, do not say, and they spent all that money. Do not say do not say bad player, because you will not get access if you don't see. This is where we had some people who came here and commented and said, thank God I finally found somebody who can actually talk the truth of what's going on.
Yep.
See, remember we were saying that we're about the only people that would support Beth Bolin Wallace, right?
Yes.
Being an owner. We could not be brought into some sort of media arrangement and access, blah, 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 with her, because we may have to tear her apart. You know what I'm saying? We can't be associated with players, because for me, an interview is on the field. That's your interview. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care. If I wouldn't sound like this. I wouldn't be like this if the team was different. And I would envy the Cecil Lammies and all them. I would envy them if we had the top-notch players, top-notch coaching, everything top-notch ownership, scouting, right down the line. I'd be jealous, but you have to stay to the outside of it, and you have to let the players, let the staff do the talking with who they pick. Like you say, Draymond Jones, all this. Then you got to see how the coaches all do, and then you got to see how the players. That's the interview. The interview is the process, and what you see, as the final product. That's the interview, and that's what this channel. And this is what we say GM centric. We could care less about interviews. The interviews are on the field. The interviews are during draft. The interviews are during free agency. How they move things around. That's the interview. Would you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
So if we just stay disconnected, that's how we can be, if they stop sucking, then, we can not be so hard on them, because people are like, oh man, you're really hard on them. Well, we're only a reflection of what they are. Go ahead.
I just want to say something to the crowd that say that we are hard on the Denver Broncos. The reason why I'm hard on the Denver Broncos, because I grew up with the Pat Bullen model, and I will continue to say it. John Elway wouldn't be having the control that he has if Pat Bullen was in that fucking organization. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Bullen was a symbol to this organization and also a symbol to the National Football League. Okay? This man was a unique owner in his own right. We have a guy in John Elway who is trying to turn this organization into his own image, and it's fallen from the graces. The whole league is laughing at us. Our team plays like shit because of the player personnel, and our coaches don't have the control that some coaches in the National Football League do, like an Andy Reid, like a Mike Tomlin, like a John Harbaugh, Sean McDermott, Vance Joseph, and the Cardinals. We don't have that type of system here. We are a dog shit organization. We're a bottom 3 organization in the National Football League. We're probably the worst organization in the National Football League.
That's why they can't understand it. And they're even laughing at their own selves. It's STR saying, yeah, the Broncos are going to win this game. And they're laughing like, yeah, like we've said that so many times.
Yeah, you said you were going to go in and show Pittsburgh and the Raiders, and look how that turned out.
Yeah. Now, this is what it really becomes. This is getting interesting, because we can go into this Cleveland. Case Keenum is going to be, I think, is going to be the quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Oh, and I guarantee you, he was probably lobbying, like, let me in. Please let me in. Yeah. Let me have a crack at these guys,
Because he has the proper coach. Okay. He has the proper player personnel, and the Browns actually have gotten stable in their organization to some degree. He knows that.
Well, I think he wants to stick it to Elway.
Yes. Yep.
You can guarantee he's going to have all his I's dotted and his T's crossed. You can guarantee that.
Yep.
But I don't know the state of the Browns offense. What's with Case Keenum? Is half the team actually out? I mean, what's the deal with the Cleveland Browns?
I'll say, okay, so the deal with the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to talk about the offensive line because I think that's where everything starts and ends with an offense, and that especially on the defensive side of the ball. We have continually brought this up. The Browns' offensive line is way better than ours. I don't care what people have to say about this
Is it
team.
injured? Is it well, look at everybody else who was injured, makeshift, and we can't even come close.
The Ravens had 14 guys on, or 7 to 14 guys on their injured reserve, and they still kicked the crap out of us. The Raiders still have the same problem on their offensive line, and they beat the shit out of us. So we're going into a game in Cleveland tomorrow that I'm going to be watching very closely. That we're going to get our. I think this is the game where you think last week was bad. I think this week is going to be a lot worse because we're on a national stage, and we are going to get our asses kicked in front of thousands of people. Going to sit there and they're going to realize how shitty our offensive line is and how shitty our defensive line is. This game is going to come down to the trenches, in my opinion, and they are going to beat the shit out of our defensive line, in my personal opinion. Case Keenum, I think, will be a manageable quarterback. I think he's going to be good in this game. I think he's going to come ready. He's going to come stick it to Elway. They have they're both running backs are out. Their third running back had 20 carries last week. Actually had a pretty good game. That is a direct correlation from that offensive line. And Kevin Stefanski runs that Rich Scangarillo, Mike Munchak type system.
And we got Shermer. Can I ask you something? This is off the Cleveland thing, but does it seem like they're protecting Shermer? Does Shermer seem a little protected to you?
Yes.
Don't you find that a little interesting? Didn't I say and ask you if could Elway fire Fangio and somehow kind of elevate Shermer? They're saying Munchak, but
I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
Because everybody says Fangio brought in Shermer, but the two wise men that seemed to have the best track record have a sneaking hunch that Fangio just signed off on it, but Elway was the architect of it.
Yep.
Correct?
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I don't think they oh boy.
This game is going to this game is going to be ugly. Okay. People could say, oh, well, they have all their good players. They have Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. It's not going to matter because we've seen it for the past 3 fucking weeks with this team. It doesn't matter. It matters the player personnel. The player personnel of the Browns are 10 times better than our player personnel. Well, they lost.
Go ahead.
Well, they lost to the Cardinals. Well, when you have a player personnel like the Cardinals do, like we've been continuing to tell you idiotic fans out there that Vance Joseph, if he had the control, look what's happened to the Cardinals defense ever since Vance Joseph has been given the control to build the defense that he wants. There's no secret.
You'll look at Fangio's defense when he leaves the Broncos. You'll see a diametrically different.
Yep. Yep.
Go ahead.
This game is going to come down to the trenches. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but this game is going to come down between the trenches with the Browns offensive line and defensive line. The Browns offense is a West Coast zone run, play action type scheme with the Rich Scangarillo. They rely on their offensive line. That's where everything is predicated off of. And that's why the Browns, when, the Browns are the Browns.
Well, the Browns went and really worked on those lines.
Yes.
So did the Raiders, by the way, because I want to go back to the Raiders real quick. Something I want to mention is that they've been through that 90s Elway, Al Davis crap. Corners, receivers, quarterback. They went through that during the 90s. They learned their lesson. They learned it hard. They learned it very well. You got to build from the lines out. That's just the way it is, especially in today's NFL, even more than ever. But when I see the Cleveland Browns, what I think of is I don't think of them as a like the last three teams, quick strike, quick strike, quick strike.
Nope.
I see them staying on their offense, staying on the field like forever and a day,
Yep,
And
they're like you said, you're hitting the nail on the head. They are very ball oriented. They are ball. Yep, they're a time possession unit. They're a very time possession unit, and that's where I think this game is going to get out of hand.
Yeah, the offense just isn't going to see.
No.
Can you believe that? I want to talk about the Broncos now. Can you absolutely were we really right about the absolute what'd you call it, hatred for Drew Lock that this organization has? That I said it in the video, and I can't think of the word right now. It's after work. I'm tired. They just absolutely.
They don't like him. They gave up on him when they fired Rich Scangarello. We all know this. We've been through this time and time again. The fans hate Drew Lock. The people in that building hate Drew Lock. Mike Munchak might only be his biggest supporter right now. But I'm just saying, we're going into a game. I want to get back to this game that people think that, I'm listening to STR today, good old D-Mac, the clown that he is, saying that, we're going to go in and show Cleveland because they have so many people in.
The baseball
2 weeks.
Well, I mean, one thing I would like to see is that the Broncos have a little bit of an attitude instead of but if they get their asses handed to them, I bet you they'll even collapse even further into their shell than they already are. But what's the defensive line for Cleveland?
Oh, it's way better than the Raiders. Way better. They have a guy.
Injuries or you notice that this year sure has a lot of freakishly high injuries across the NFL. Does that?
Yeah, I agree. The Browns defensive line is a top 5 unit in my personal opinion. They have a guy named Myles Garrett who is better than a Draymond Jones. I just want to put that out there right there.
No way. Can't be better than Draymond Jones.
That's why he was.
Radio just talks about Draymond Jones all the time, and he's got to be better than everybody.
Like Draymond Jones is the second coming to Myles Garrett, Malik Jackson, and Aaron Donald. Get the fuck out of there with that noise.
Well, I'll tell you what. If that's the case, then Katie, bar the door, man. Because
Myles Garrett is on the level of an Aaron Donald. He is that. You need to double team Aaron Donald. And with this offensive line that we have in Denver, we ain't going to do shit against this. And they also have another guy named Jadeveon Clowney who's still going around in the National Football League, who's a damn good player. And they have some good interior pieces on that defensive line. And do you guys remember the name Joe Woods, which is the defensive coordinator for Cleveland? Just saying.
He did better too. How come? Yeah, everybody. Elway.
Yep. And they also have a name. This is just to prove your point. They also have a name named Greedy Williams, who I wanted in the second round.
Williams, yeah, that was one of the guys I wanted long when we really needed a corner. I said, well, Greedy Williams, he's an up and coming. He's like kind of like a Darby in a way where he's a fat,
he can keep up with the. Yep, absolutely.
He'll keep up with any of our receivers with no problem.
Yep.
We don't have, even if we had a Hamler, he's the kind of guy that could stick with Hamler.
Yeah. So I just want to get this done because I'm crunching on time here. What I expect in this game from the Browns, I think they're going to run the ball, time of possession. I think their offensive line is going to punch us in the mouth. I think the tight ends, David Njoku and Austin Hooper, I believe, are the tight ends. I think they're going to expose the middle of the field. I think they're going to go after Simmons in the play action game. I think the defense for the Cleveland Browns, I think they're going to blitz a lot in this game because they know that our defensive line is weak. And I think they're going to take a game. They're going to take what they saw at the Raiders and apply that to their game plan this week.
How about their linebacking? How's their linebacking?
Their linebacking's okay, but it's way better than ours.
everything. Yeah, any
Yeah,
linebacker.
it's on all three levels. I'm just going to tell you this. It's on all three levels that they're just way better player personnel wise in
And
this.
we're going to their backyard.
Yeah, and that that stadium's going to be rocking, and we're on national TV, so we're probably going to get our asses kicked.
I guess I'll have to put out the clown show music again, won't we?
Yep.
But it'll probably just get too old. I mean, if everybody like, yeah, they suck. So yeah, and
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow from what the film you're watching?
I didn't get to see the Cleveland thing. That with Kate, I think first of all, I know. I don't have to think. I know Keenum is going to be like I said, dotting every I, crossing every T. I know Keenum wants to kick John Elway. Not so much maybe the Broncos, but I know he wants to stick it to Elway.
Yep.
And a lot of people, probably Bronco fans, just won't be able to understand that. I understand because you live in a fantasy world, and I just wish the Broncos would have some attitude going into that game, just some attitude.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to see them just fold like lawn chairs and even go deeper into a hole. Like I said, I'm going to tell you, people, this. Even when Josh McDaniels was here, it wasn't this bad. It was bad. But we had Pat Bowlen, so it wasn't this bad. This is on a level. And, we may have underestimated it, Colby, how bad this is. Even us.
I agree. I think that this organization and this fan base is pathetic.
I mean,
not
all the coaching. I mean,
not all the fans.
Go ahead.
Not all the fans, but you guys blaming this shit on coaching. Seriously, it's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You're gonna blame Vic Fangio for this mess when this has been going on, but before he came to Denver. You guys are dumb. You guys are idiotic. You guys don't know what you're talking about. And me and him were right all along. This organization is dog shit. And John Elway, you need to go.
Yeah, this is my take. It's like, okay, you want to get rid of Fangio. You better do this. Get rid of Fangio. Fine, but you better get rid of Shermer. You better get rid of Elway. You better get rid of Ellis. Just get rid of it all.
Yep, I agree.
Fangio, what? I mean, you don't think that what's going on now, has something bigger, something more involved?
Me and you have seen this from the very beginning. Ever since I got on this channel with you, we have seen the toxic that has been creeping into this organization since Elway's been getting more and more control.
When Elway fired, that's what I said. That's it. When it was the final straw, when I knew something was up. When a guy wins you a Super Bowl, because of his defense, it wasn't really even Manning, to be honest with you. Maybe Manning steadied the ship is all, but with that defense, there's a lot of quarterbacks that could have done a whole lot better.
Well, let me just say this. I think Manning had a lot to do with it, with the free agents he was able to attract.
Yes. You're right. In that regard, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, in that regard. But once those players, I'm just saying, once all those players finally came in. But the bottom line is, it was really Wade Phillips was really the thing that really got you that Super Bowl. Really,
I agree.
Without him, that never would have happened. So how do you reward someone? And that's just totally Elway. I think Elway is actually so jealous, and so I can't have him be in the spotlight. I mean, I got to show you what I can do, what I can do, And what he could do was completely and absolutely, unequivocally destroy an organization, a franchise with a great history that I've never seen players like this ever on a Bronco team. Never.
I agree.
This is so un-Bronco-like. And people don't
They
understand.
clamor over that. They juice out of the mouth for that. They want Elway. They love Elway because of the player that he was. This isn't a player. This is a GM who has continuously been detrimental to this organization ever since he got the control that he did. Do I need to put it in elementary terms for you folks? I don't know how I can continue to say this up here on a third grade level and tell you that John Elway, the man that everybody was giving credit for that Super Bowl 50 run. It was Pat Bowlen, Wade Phillips, and Peyton Manning that kept that team together and that organization to the last minute until Elway got his hands on it, which he's trying to do with the ownership situation right now. We have a situation in Denver that this organization cannot get past because of their love affair of John Elway.
It's Raiders and and Raider fans and the Al Davis thing all over again. I knew if he was as bad as Al Davis, we would have an Al Davis situation on our hands. Before we go, I want to talk about there was a ceremony at the Bronco game, and look at the whole alumni was there to watch that abortion.
Yep.
And and that really drives me crazy too. Elway, come on. But you have. I want to talk about the Ring of Fame just really quick.
Good.
You have Mike Shanahan being inducted, but there should be 3 others with him.
Alex Gibbs.
Again, Shanahan it wasn't a solo thing with Shanahan. Shanahan had tremendous support, Bowlen being at the top of it all. But Bobby Turner, and even more so, Alex Gibbs,
Thank you.
Ring of Fame, and John Beek, the general manager, should all be Ring of Famers. I just want to put that out there. I know most people probably don't even know who John Beek even is.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, just instrumental. Obviously, Pat Bowlen's over there. Should be Bowlen Stadium. But yeah, it's that Alex Gibbs, Bobby Turner, and John Beek all should have been inducted into the Ring of Fame, and Elway controls all that too. Now, yeah. Well, when John Elway, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't John Elway. It was Shanahan when he did his farewell speech. He didn't thank John Beek. I don't know if they got along. But he didn't thank John Beek, but John Beek was probably having to throttle Shanahan, and that's why.
Probably.
But he was instrumental in bringing all those players in around Elway during those Super Bowls. Just saying.
Yeah, and I just want to bring this up before I get off here. You would think that Elway would understand that what got him those 2 Super Bowls was both the offense and defensive lines, and still he cannot get that through his fucking head.
No, he gives it lip service. That's it. He's Al Davis. It's like he's possessed by the ghost of Al Davis.
Yep.
Receivers, corners. Got a whole clown car full of corners, and because this defensive line is so bad, they're getting no help whatsoever. I mean, if I could sit back there, I could, little old me with my noodle arm, I could throw a pass to the tight end with no problem with any of those offensive lines because it's a joke. It's just really a joke.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so you're thinking ass kicking then?
Yep, I'm thinking ass kicking.
Just because we just don't have the player personnel, and Cleveland wants to. Well, Cleveland likes to stick it to the Broncos just in general. It's kind of a thing.
Case Keenum and Joe Woods, I think are going to want to stick it to Elway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they're going to come out prepared. So I think this is going to be an ass whooping. Well,
and I understand. Who was the offensive coordinator, or who was the head coach of the Dolphins there? He was
Brian Flores.
No, that was a Bronco.
Adam Gase.
Okay, Adam Gase. Now, Adam Gase has got his own issues, but people couldn't understand why he had such a hatred for Elway. He's not the only one. He just shows it more than the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Fangio will want to stick it to Elway too. If but like I said, I don't know if once there's an owner that they sure as heck aren't going to let anybody from this trust in. You can guarantee. I wouldn't. Would you, if you bought a team? Would you, for whatever reason, make Elway a part of an owner? It doesn't even make sense.
No, never.
They would say, Elway, you can come making a celebrity appearance, show your jacket, smile, shake some hands, but you are not being a part of any administrative decisions or any. You're a guest, and that's it, a guest. I think Elway's legacy as a GM is diametrically opposite from his quarterback. I think it's going to be a lot's going to come out. I think when he's gone and people talk, and I think a lot is going to come out. You'll see on Elway and the Broncos and all these other people. You still there?
Yep.
All right, I guess that's a wrap. Do you have anything else?
Nope. That's it for me.
Okay, I'd like to see him show a little bit of heart out there, but we'll see if they just,
roll over and die like always.
Yeah, just if they get pussyfied or whatever.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Should be interesting. All right.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.